What's up, YouTube? Welcome or welcome back to the Saving Men's Lives Network. It's been said that art imitates life. And I want to take you guys on a trip down memory lane for me and a lot of other guys who came up watching a show back in the day called Family Matters. It came on back in September of '89, and it ran for 9 seasons until July of 1998. It's a great show, family sitcom, wholesome. You can watch it with the small kids, and adults had enough in it where it was funny enough to keep you entertained. And if you can catch it, you can get the reruns of the show on HBO Max, I'd imagine. But central to that show was a black family, upper middle class, called the Winslows. The Winslows were Carl, the father, a Chicago police officer, his wife Harriet, who worked at the Chicago Tribune newspaper, her younger sister Rachel, and her 6-year-old son Ricky, Grandma, who was Carl's mother, who moved her in with them so she wouldn't have to go to a nursing home, and the Winslows' 3 kids, the eldest being their son Eddie, their youngest daughter named Judy, and their middle daughter named Laura. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I telling you about a sitcom from the 90s? And what could that possibly have to do or teach young men and old men alike here in the 21st century? Great question. The answer is there was another character on the show who ended up becoming the most popular character out of all of them, named Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel was the nerd next door, a black guy who, man, there was literally nothing cool about this kid. He wore enormous glasses, shoes were too big, suspenders, high-pitched voice. The kid loved bugs and cheese for some reason. Never could figure that part out. But he was the guy next door, had a genius-level intellect, like damn near supervillain level intellect, this guy. And he was absolutely in total love with the Winslow's daughter, Laura. He had what we know here in the manosphere as one-itis. And that's basically the mental condition where you fixate on a woman so much that she just becomes the focal point of everything in your life, for better or for worse. This is a dangerous position for any man to be in. And for you guys out there who live this reality, you know how destructive it is to have one-itis, to have one chick on your brain so strong that you fixate on her, and then to have that woman not be what you thought she was, or to betray that level of love and involvement you placed in her. It's devastating. Now, again, this is a sitcom we're talking about, so all actors reading the script, obviously. But throughout the course of the show, Steve effectively tried anything and everything to gain Laura's approval. And Laura was not at all thrilled about this. In fact, she despised Steve and wishes that he would left her alone. Now, again, this show was a sign of the times, because today, if you were chasing after Laura and not taking no for an answer, because every time he tried to make a move, she shut him down off top. If you tried that stunt today, you'd be hashtag me also. Thank you, YouTube algorithm. But I want to say this, because I know if I don't say this, I'm going to catch hell. So let me get this out the way. For the 2% of the ladies who watch my content, according to the algorithm and according to the analytics, thank you for being here. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you'll learn something. Women have every right to turn down a man who is after them. If a man is interested in a woman and he makes his approach, or whatever the case may be, if she doesn't like the guy, she has 100% right to say no to that guy and spurn his advances. Full stop. I will never deny them that, because we as men also have that latitude as well. If there's a girl up in our face we don't like, We have the right to say no as well, and that's fine. However, Laura was, even for sitcom standards of the 90s, very, very cruel about how she turned this man down. Maybe somebody could say she didn't think she was getting the point across strong enough because he kept coming back, whatever the case may be. But what she did do was she transformed Steve, who she knew would do anything in the world for her, was transformed him into her do-boy. And for those of you guys who don't know what a do-boy is slang for her emotional tampon, effectively. A guy who she can ask anything, no matter how ridiculous, no matter how expensive, to do for her, and she knows he'll do it. It's a miserable position for a man to find himself in. It's a position that no man should ever allow himself to spend 2 seconds in. Because that 2 seconds worth of being a do-boy is 40 years too long. You heard me. Eventually, what would happen in the show is that Steve, who, again, had a love for all things nerdy, and this guy was nowhere near close to cool. Steve Urkel would have been a pickup artist's worst nightmare to try to teach game. You know, the kid played the accordion. Oh, man, it's tough for that kid, man. Tough for him. And he set back for season after season of unrequited love from the girl next door. And then what would happen is they would introduce a character into the show named Myra. Now, Myra, oh my God, drop dead gorgeous. She's about 3 cup sizes larger than Laura. Had booty. And she was crazy about Steve Urkel. I mean, she was the polar opposite of Laura in absolutely every way. She had actual desire for him to the point where she simply would not take no for an answer. She was brilliant like Steve. She also played the accordion like Steve. And I'm going to leave a link down below to a clip, which is classic TV right now at this point, where they had dueling accordions. It was wild. You got to see it to believe it. But it was during that dueling accordions match between Steve and Myra that he realized, wow, this beautiful black woman is as interested in me as I now see I can be interested in her. Now, the tension came in the fact that he still was pining after Laura, despite the fact he was dating Myra, who was all over him and all on him. Gave him what she was hoping to secure him. But Myra was fit. She was very feminine. She inspired him because she believed that Steve could be anything he wanted to be. Stark contrast to the girl who didn't even want him around. He couldn't take his eyes and thoughts off of her. Unfortunately, on a side note, the young lady who played Myra, Miss Michelle Thomas, would tragically lose her life from cancer back in the 90s. And that was a sad day when that hit the newspapers. But the reason why I'm telling you guys this story, for those of you guys who haven't seen the show or haven't seen it in forever, for those of you who have, is there's a lot of lessons we can learn from Steve Urkel. Number one, it's great to be intelligent. But intelligence without the body to protect what you learned is wasteful. You got to build yourself up, because a guy like Steve was no physical threat to anyone. And we live in a very dangerous world full of dangerous people. Number two, never give a woman a chance to say no to you twice. Never let a woman tell you she don't want you more than once. Now, there was a time in the past where that could have been an option. Maybe you could pursue a young lady over and over again, and maybe she'd come around. But in this modern era, in this social media, thick, go viral era we live in, where women love to snap screenshots of your text messages that you send to her and show her friends they can laugh at you, where they can set up hidden cameras and put you on TikTok and gotcha footage of you staring at her just for clout and clicks. Nah, fellas. Don't ever do what Steve Urkel did. If you like a girl, you make your move, I'm cool with that. It takes courage to do that. Women are natural cowards. They very rarely come up to us and tell us what they think or what they like. So if you want to go over to a girl you like what you see, if she says no, thank her for her time, and make it the last time you and she ever have anything to say to each other, ever. I don't care if she's a schoolmate. I don't care if you see her at the grocery store. If she says no, take the no. Get the hell up out of there. Planet Earth is too crowded to ask her twice. Number 2, when a woman is showing you genuine interest and she shares your common goals as well as your hobbies, this might be someone worth looking into if a relationship is something that you're looking to have happen. Otherwise, you're wasting her time and yours. Number 3, never, ever be a woman's do-boy. Nothing good comes from it, fellas. Unlike bank accounts, stock certificates, unlike a business you can open in a good location with a great product and great Yelp reviews, you can't gain interest with women. What you pour into them doesn't always guarantee a rate of return. So you're never going to be able to negotiate attraction because she's either into you or she's not. And if she's not into you and all of a sudden over time becomes interested in you, be careful of that, because there's an agenda at play here. And she's not going to tell you until after her full extraction of what she came for has taken place. No, fellas. In this world, for you guys that are still dating, you wash your hands of Allura. You wrap your arms around a Myra. With that said, fellas, that's my time. Like the video? Give me a comment down below if you used to watch this show or you just started watching it on the streaming services. Subscribe to the channel. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Network as we working. Till next time.